Coming up on Nickelodeon, it's Captain's ARGH, followed by The Brady Bunch.
Ahoy there, Ether the Captain here. Welcome to our edition of Captain's ARGH. Well, we're almost done with championship mode. Although there's something that, I do need to make one simple correction. There is a World Championship unlocking after all. I just got to unlock it. I just got to unlock Tag Team and US Heavyweight before I can get to the World title. And the other unlockable, as far as I know, is Roddy Piper. So we'll cross our bridge when we come to it. But right now, let's get to the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. And I know exactly which superstar I'm going to be selecting. Let's go sold out. Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. Had to make some adjustments to his gear, because I kind of like this gear right here. There's something about it that really stood out. I can't put my finger on it, but I like him in the trunks and the white. Now he did have some short trunks with the Union Jack on there, but that's not available. I don't remember Bulldog wearing these type of trunks. There's the Union Jack with the long tights, but they're faded. Here's the original one, the original Union Jack look. But they were a different color. They were blue. These trunks were blue before I changed them to white. There's character customizations. There's superstar customizations on these bad boys. You can change the attire. You can change the colors of the attire, etc. But I decided to go with this look here. Something about it that really stands out about it. I can't put my finger on it. Looks like he's wearing tidy whities though, but still, I like the Bulldog here. I met his daughter, Georgia Smith, but unfortunately I didn't get an autograph or nothing with her. She did bring some of her father's gear some of the gear that her father wore over at WrestleCade. So it was an honor seeing her up close in person. I would both WCW and WWE missed out on something big when it comes as far as the British Bulldog was concerned, because he had all the tools. Bulldog had all the tools to what it took to be a world champion. I don't think he ever did have a title shot in a world title, unless in his first one in WCW he had a title shot. But I don't know my Bulldog history. I don't know my wrestling history that much. If anybody knows that if Bulldog ever squared off with the WCW World Heavyweight Championship shot, can you let me know? Because I know he had multiple title shots with in WWE or back then WWF, but failed to capture it. And like I said, both WCW and WWE missed out big time trying to make Bulldog as world champion. I like his he has the physique, he has the look, he has all the tools, the promos, etc. His bite is worse than his bark. Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. Who will my first opponent be? The total package, Lex Luger. Both of whom have been in both WCW and WWE. As far as the cruiserweights were concerned, they were the stars of the show. But of course, backstage politics had came into play, and so they weren't given a true chance to shine, which is why Chris Jericho had ended up jumping ship, going to the competition WWF. Same goes with Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn, and Eddie Guerrero. They weren't given a chance to shine because WCW was heavily focused on the nWo. Backstage politics was at its all-time high during that time. Well pressed. Running power slam. Bulldog with the Oklahoma Slam. Bulldog's got it together. Steiner recliner. But I want to hear your memories with this very game. What are your fond memories of this game? But a lot of y'all played this game, spent hours on this game, especially during the weekends. Too bad there's no running grapple moves, even though I did hear that there was a hack and like some sort of Game Shark code or some sort of hack to insert them on there. Oh, he's busted open. He's bleeding all over the place. He's down the proverbial crimson mask. Hey, daughter. He's bleeding like stuff in my wall. Got him with the Steiner recliner. Got him. The winner is the British Bulldog. Bulldogs got it together. Let's see who's next. Is Raven, quote the Raven, nevermore. Whom I've met on 2 separate occasions, one at the Gathering and one at WrestleCade. And he finally signed my NWA World Heavyweight Championship. I'm happy about that. I so happy. At least TNA gave him a chance. And Raven had every right to be angry with WWE management. Like I said before, the Cruiserweights were the real stars of the show. You know, the way they're flying and the Luchador mask, etc. But it all got overshadowed by the NWO. WCW was focusing really heavily on the NWO and trying to milk everything out as much as possible. Like I said, backstage politics and everything, and so they weren't given a real chance to shine. The same thing goes with Raven. fans going, "What about me? What about Raven?" Who would have thought that those 6 simple words will become one of his catchphrase? You know? And Eddie Guerrero, when he did that work shoot on Eric Bischoff, with him, like I said, focusing really heavily on the nWo and not the rest of the roster. I can see why. That's why you can kiss my slap butt cheeks. Yeah. He had every right to be angry. The Steiner recliner. The nWo was a good thing and a bad thing. It was a good thing that because of the competition against rival company WWE, then known as the WWF, able to gain the upper hand in the Monday Night Wars, forcing them to go into a more contemporary direction, a more adult-oriented direction. Hence the Attitude Era. It was so popular, it became like a brand in of itself. That's why nWo was on some of the different brandings, with the pay-per-view names and the video games and the rest of its branding. They even tried. They at one point tried to make WCW at one point tried to make nWo Nitro exclusive, while Thunder is like a WCW exclusive. But unfortunately, that crashed and burned. It was a bad thing because it was oversaturated, and a good chunk of the roster that was getting a lot of TV time ended up joining the nWo in some aspect, whether it be nWo Hollywood or nWo Wolfpack. Everybody else was like being held back, so to speak, especially the cruiserweights. And WCW's former flagship show, Saturday night, became more and more of an afterthought. And ever since the introduction of Monday Nitro in 1995, Saturday night became more and more of an afterthought. All you see there was lower tier talent and recent graduates from the power plant. Smith Chinlock. Russell Biles joke. But yeah, the show eventually became like a recap show. Especially worldwide. I'm a worldwide big would eventually become exclusively a recap show during the final years, and you would see a match or two on there, exclusive match or two, again featuring lower tier talent and as well as recent graduates from the power plant, which was WCW's training school at the time. And the main events would be upper mid-carder. The main events would be occupied by upper mid-carders on Saturday Night Worldwide. The nWo was like a blessing and a curse. Blessing and a curse, excuse me. It's Sting! I've been saying Tony Schiavone. But yeah, Tony Schiavone, I met him on 2 separate occasions. Voice of my childhood, voice of WCW. Sting eventually joined the nWo. At first we thought he was going to join the Black and White, but big swerve right there. He ended up joining the Wolfpack, and thus we were introduced to the black and red Sting face paint, where it'd be black and white or red and black. Sting looked good either way. And his son Steven, whom I first saw at Sting's final match at Revolution 2024. He recently got into the biz. Boston Crab. This game will probably work better if it had like running grapples. If only I know the Game Shark codes. German suplex. They did Sting dirty in WWE. They only had like 2 matches. The first one being at WrestleMania 31. Was it WrestleMania 31 that he finally appeared? They did him dirty. His match against Triple H. I was so angry. Sure, it's there for nostalgia when both DX and the nWo appeared, but still, they should have let Sting win. In fact, a lot of people wanted Sting to square off against the Undertaker. Had Taker kept a streak and Sting ended up picking up the victory, it wouldn't have mattered because that would have been the match of the century right there. Because like I said for years, one of the biggest fantasy bookings would be Sting versus Undertaker. Scorpion Death Drop. Yep, Scorpion Death Drop. Scorpion Deathlock. That's who works. Oh, no. Oh. Starting to come back. Oh, he doesn't do flying moves. Whoa. Oh, come on. Get up there. Oh, you missed. The Steiner Recliner. Whoa. Oh. Sting's just too powerful. Is it over? Yep, it's over. Let's do this again. Let's try a different superstar. It's like one loss and it's over. Lex Luger. Allied Powers member. I met Lex Luger. also like Raven's WCW theme. Sounds like Nirvana's "Come As You Are." Jimmy Hart did, I guess you could say, did his little take on it. Speaking of Jimmy Hart, I read somewhere that he was a booker for Saturday Night, WCW Saturday Night when he was in WCW. He wanted to give it its own brand, its own unique take, like, you know, like Mid-Atlantic style, if you would, that kind of feel. He wanted to have like a separate entity, you know, separate titles, separate pay-per-view calendar, I guess you could say. Not exactly pay-per-view calendar, but he wanted to give it its own identity and have its separate roster, you know, for like up-and-comers and recent graduates from the power plant. Just giving it its own unique identity, if you would, giving its own like Mid-Atlantic identity as a tribute to WCW's like Mid-Atlantic roots, so to speak. Just start off as a Mid-Atlantic territory, you know, Jim Crockett Promotions, that sort of thing. Got him in the center of the ring. But I think it's too early. I'll be your hero. Well, like I said, imagine Jimmy Hart trying to give Saturday Night its own identity, its own entity, its own title belts and everything. It's in a separate roster. Now. Can I get him? How did he kick out of that? I bet he doesn't do top rope moves. Nope. He doesn't. Luger wins. Looks like Sick Boy. I guess I'm going to be facing Raven's Flock. Like I said, it was such an honor meeting Raven's Flock. I didn't think I was going to ever meet them. It was the first time they reunited. For the most part, they reunited in 17 years, having disbanded at Fall Brawl 1998. That epic match between Raven and Perry Saturn. If Perry Saturn lost, he would have been forced to return to Flock and be Raven's personal slave forever. However, if Raven lost, the Flock disbanded. The Flock gets set free. Perfect storybook and into the storyline with Perry Saturn picking up the victory against Raven. Sorry I couldn't get the job done with Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. Let's see if I can get the job done with his former ally power partner, Lex Luger. I'm glad Lex Luger was able to turn his life around. Both spiritually, mentally, and physically. Spiritually, mentally, and physically, yeah. With help with DDP Yoga, he's able to literally get back on his feet. Although DDP was there when I think it was back in 2022 when he was over at WrestleCade. Unfortunately, I was unable to go to his booth. Pile driver. Sick Boy. Too bad the flock, Raven's Flock, for the most part, Sick Boy Reese Riggs and Lodi. Didn't Lodi appear in Backstage Assault in Lenny Lane? And like I said, those Flock members that I just named, too bad they only appeared in 2 games. This game here and as unlockables in WCW nWo Thunder. This could be it. This could be it. Once he got the ropes. Atomic drop. Got him. What you gonna do, brother? nWo Hollywood is just too sweet. How sweet was this? Hollywood Hogan. I can name one, never forget their title matches. Me against the GOAT. what you gonna do. Ah, the giant. It's the giant. Oh, Hogan's bleeding. He's busted open. He's busted open really bad. He's on the proverbial crimson mask, by all. It's the suplex. Should do it. I know it's not the fanciest way to finish off the match just with the headlock, but as long as he gets the job done, that's all that matters. Let's see who's next. Who is next? It's Sting! I lost him as a big British bulldog, but let's see how I do with Lex Luger. Sting and Luger are friends, but in real life and in storyline, but still. Whoa, that was fast. It's probably the fastest match I've had in since played this game ever. Powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, that's it. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Like, whoa. Who's next? Kevin Nash. Don't turn your back on the wolf pack. You might wind up in a body bag. This game is addicting. Like I said, 12-year-old me envy this game. As a PlayStation 12-year-old, I wanted this game so bad. It was available in 64. Big boot. One of these days I'll get my hands on WCW versus nWo World Tour and see how it compares with Revenge. I still find it hard to believe that Kevin Nash was Super Shredder in Secret of the Ooze, Stage Manager Charles Stewart, Secret of the Ooze. Gonna end up being the powerbomb. Oh. Not yet. Steiner recliner. Got him in the middle of the ring. There's no escape now. I don't know what happened in that Sting match. Why I lost, or why I won so quickly. Next is Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Like I said, I met his daughter Maddie. Such an honor meeting him. Such an honor meeting somebody from the Hart family. no, not her. He too appeared only in 2 WCW games. This one here, and as a playable character in Thunder. Goldberg. It's gonna be a tough one. Goldberg got over on his own with the undefeated streak. I know they were trying to strategize of trying to beat WWF in their own game. But they could have saved Goldberg versus Hogan on a pay-per-view. That was like pay-per-view level right there. But considering the fact that they were in Goldberg's hometown of Atlanta, I see why another reason why they ended up doing what they did, airing it on free TV rather than a pay-per-view, because that had pay-per-view quality written all over it. Hogan made his entrance, and he was like, for the world title, he was like, I am going to kick Goldberg's butt. Boston Crab. Those two. Those great two. What happened? It could be going real easy. That was fast. Just as fast as the Sting match. So Booker T, Stevie Ray, Booker T. It's the five-time WCW champion. I saw both Haney biographies on both Lex Luger and Booker T. My goodness. Both of them. Booker T came from humble beginnings. Where he's now. WWE Hall of Famer. So it comes so much. Getting where he is now. Almost a 3 count. Oh. Came inside, reverse it. The spin-a-rooney, or as my sister will call it, the spinning get-up move. Drain my injury really quick. Get to the ropes, get to the ropes. Oh, reversal. Roll up. Whoop. Tough. It's going to be tough around 5. This should be it. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. That was a real tough match, but I got through. Okay, this is it. Against Mr. Perfect, a.k.a. Kurt Hennig. I met his son, Joe, a.k.a. Curtis Axel, a.k.a. Michael McGillicuddy. Such an honor meeting him. Like I said, there's something about the Fisherman's Suplex or the Perfect Plex or the Hennig Plex that I like. It's like a bridging pin. It's like a suplex. You hook, you grab the leg, and then you suplex with a bridge. 1, 2, 3. Something about that really stands out. I can't put my finger on it. Lex Luger, Kurt Hennig. Both of them WWE alum. This is it for all the marbles for the U.S. Championship. Like I said, Kurt Hennig, aka Mr. Purple, could have been a world champion of some kind, whether in WCW or WWE. Setting up for the Perfect Plex. Bulldog me. Just set up for the Perfect Plex. Oh. So that stops. Keeps it from Perfect Plex. Gotta get the job done, though. And so I'm like, oh, what if I do this? That was fast. The powerbomb transitioned into a pin. I did not think it was going to get the job done, but oh well. Well, at least Lex Luger unlocked Kurt Hennig, a.k.a. Mr. Perfect. I wonder if I could choose him for the World Championship against Roddy Piper. That's something to think about. Lex Luger. I made the list. Okay, so I challenged 9 9 superstars, 8 of which before the champion. You need to remember that. Unlock Kurt Hennig, aka Mr. Perfect. Go me. It's my birthday. Okay. Let's see something real quick. Now that I'll unlock Kurt Hennig. Let's see what kind of attire he has. I like that little stripe thing that he has in the back. Very unique attire. I've always loved his attire. Talking about Mr. Perfect. Anyway, that's how to do it for this issue of Captain's Arcade. Let's see what we got here. Well, there's a World Heavyweight Champion. There it is. And it's Rowdy Roddy Piper. Tag team and be the face of fear. Anyway, we'll see how I do on next time on next edition of Captain's Arcade. Will I go for the world title? Will I go for the tag team? Who knows? But tune in tomorrow for another edition of Captain's Arcade. Until then, maybe say goodbye.